Oh, hello. Welcome to tonight's version of Masterwork Games. Tonight we're going to be exploring the German board game of the year in 1995. A game called Die Siedler there, but here in America we call it The Settlers of Catan.
1996 U.S. board game of the year.
USA! USA! USA!
Hello, I am Fark Mason.
And I'm Gom Gaylor.
Tonight we will explore The Settlers of Catan.
At this time, we will be discussing the game pieces and game rules for Settlers of Catan. There are many game pieces. You have first your resource cards, or wheat, sheep or wool, lumber, and brick. Likewise, what make up the game pieces in relation to the cards, or wheat, wool or sheep, lumber, and brick. You also have a pair of dice that you use, the desert and the robber baron, which starts on the desert. Your numbered chits, which range from the numbers 2 through 12 with the exception of the number 7, are placed on the tiles. And then you have your building pieces, as you can build roads, settlements, or cities. As you can see, that this game cherishes the tradition of its motherland.
Oh, and I almost forgot. We have victory point cards that also have other special things such as soldiers and monopolies, and with those more victory points such as longest road and largest army.
And now we will move on to setting up the board. You begin with 4 wood, 4 tiles for sheep, 4 tiles of wheat, and 3 brick and ore. The placement starts by putting 5 tiles to divide the board in 2, right down the center of the table, as this will be the middle of the board. The next side, of course, will be 4. After that, you move on to 3, and once you're done with 3, then the board is complete. It should form a near circle. Are the chits. We randomly arrange these. And thus concludes our board. Looking at the board, you will notice that some numbers are red and have more dots under the number. What these numbers represent are the probability of those numbers being rolled on 2d6. So, as you can tell, these 3 red numbers in a row will have to be replaced because the game balance will be oddly skewed if the red numbers are next to each other. So to do that, we're going to randomly determine which numbers need to be replaced. And by doing that, we will use these 2 dice. And now with the land determined, we will now move on to ports. You arrange ports starting from the top and then the 2 opposite sides. So there and there. These ports have been shuffled and are completely randomized. And then to fill in the spots in between the ports, we will use regular water tiles. And thus concludes the board making process.
The average player would not start with every resource. So, before the building phase, you can trade. Trading, you can hand in resources either to the bank or to other players to receive the resource that you desire.
Now normally trading with the bank, you need a 4-to-1 trade ratio. However, with ports, you can even cut down that cost by quite a bit. For example, this port is the wheat port. As you can see, it says 2-to-1. What that means is you can trade 2 wheat commodity for 1 commodity of your choice. Now, with this port, it just says 3 to 1 and a question mark. What that means is you can trade 3 of any of the same type of port for 1 of your choice. This, right here, is what we call the robber baron. He robs resources from specific tiles. To activate the robber baron, you roll a 7 or lay a soldier to move him. And what he does is, for example, if he was on the 8 wheat, whenever an 8 was rolled, only this 8 over here would produce. This would not. And since blue has a settlement on the robbed 8, he does not get any resources. Now, once the robber baron is activated, you immediately steal from a person that has a settlement or city touching that tile. You know, Gom, Settlers is a game of discovery and expansion.
That's what I always thought.
Therefore, you need to develop your settlements into large cities and spawning metropoli. You do that by creating roads, settlements, and cities. To build a road, you must pay a wood and a brick. To form a settlement, you must use a road plus a sheep and a wheat. And finally, the city, the most advanced settlement unit, is created with 3 ore and 2 wheat.
And might I add that a city replaces a settlement. Development cards in Settlers of Catan may be purchased by using a wheat, an ore, and a sheep. This is the same price goes for all development cards. They are drawn from random. There are many to be had. The soldier, which is the most common, is another way to move the robber baron. Road building. In road building, you may place 2 roads just as if you had built them, so they must be connected to the rest of your roads or settlements. A monopoly lets you gain any one resource that all other players may hold. So if Fark here was holding 3 wheat and I called a monopoly on wheat, he would have to give me all his wheat. A year of plenty would give you one of the same resource or 2 of different resources. And finally, we have examples like the market card, which are victory points and go towards your total of 10 to be the winner.
So let's play a game. The first to 10 victory points wins. you have it. It's a full exploration of the game, Settlers of Catan. Perfect for 3 to 4
Yes, it
players.
was.
It should only last about an hour, or if you're playing with Frenchie, 4 hours. And judging by the state of my affairs, I think it's about time to go.
I think it's about time to go as well. In fact, the last time I played Settlers, we went for about 2 hours.
Yeah,
But not, well,
that's the oven. We need to go get our pizza out of the oven, and it looks from things that Dave needs to go smoke. So this concludes our final episode of Masterwork.